House. Thanks.
Let's bring in David Asman, anchor for Fox Business Network. I just wanted to put this up on the screen. Wall Street Journal's Jerry Baker, he wrote this today in his column. The cost of wishful thinking on inflation is going up too. First it wasn't real, then it was transitory, and now we're told the Fed will cure it with a few rate hikes. Do you think that's possible?
You're asking me from Jerry's mouth to mine. I would say no. And the expectations have less to do with it than the reality of what's been happening. You can finish this sentence. Inflation is too much money chasing what? Too few goods. We're not producing enough. It's that simple. And that's why we have stagflation. It's not just inflation. It's a slowdown in the economy. We had a deficit. We had a decrease 1.5% in the first quarter. If we have another one, it's a recession. We're close to it. A lot of people think we're actually in it. The answer to both stagnation and inflation is the same. Produce more goods. They're taking care of the money part. Hopefully, the Fed will take care of that. But we have to take care of the second equation in inflation, which is we have to produce more goods. Instead, Biden is beating up on the producers. Yeah. He's beating up on the oil producers. He's beating up on meat producers. Anything. He's beating up on the producers. He should be incentivizing more production in the United States by lowering tax rates even more and by getting deregulation. And instead, he's increasing regulation, talking about increasing taxes. He's doing exactly the wrong thing.
Saudi Arabia and saying the trip is not about oil.
Well,
call for number 4 stocks year to date. Here you go, David. Dow's off 16%, S&P 21, NASDAQ down 30%. Do you believe right now that we are headed for a recession?
I think so. There are some people who think that it's a little too early to say, but we clearly are going into stagflation. We're in stagflation right now. And that's why, again, you have to focus on producing more. Producing more will lower the cost of goods overall. It will take care of a lot of supply chains. We've been paying people not to produce during the pandemic, and Joe Biden extended that long beyond the point at which it was necessary, if it was ever necessary to do that. So we've been paying people. You know, Elon Musk said about a recession, he said maybe it's a good thing. Americans are so used to not working hard at full pace that a recession might shake the tree, might shake them and wake them up and wake the economy back up again. But instead, we have this sleepy economy prodded on by exactly the wrong economic policies.
So to your point of it's too much money chasing too few goods.
Right.
One of the Obama advisors, Steve Ratner, was on MSNBC yesterday because it could have been even worse. The Biden administration wanted to pass a lot more money. They were thwarted by one person. Listen here.
In an ironic way, you almost have to thank Joe Manchin for blocking that, because $6.5 trillion of spending in this economy would make these numbers look small.
So they're basically saying thank you, Joe Manchin?
Right. And you go back to December and November of last year, and you look at what they were saying about Joe Manchin, how he was a traitor to the cause, and feeding into the progressives line that you could print money until the end of time without having any inflation. It was BS, and the Democratic Party, starting at the head with Joe Biden, was falling for it. It's kind of like these spoiled kids on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. I'm going to do a Greg Gutfeld analogy. You know, where you see these mothers that are indulging their children. Oh, it's all right. Oh, look at that. Oh, honey, don't kick that old woman in the knee and everything. They were indulging the young progressives who don't know a thing about the economy, indulging, and eventually they went a step too far, and they bought into the whole plan, whether it was in spending or in the Federal Reserve, and the house is burned down, as a result of indulging these brats.
They called inflation temporary. They said it was transitory. They said it was leveling off. All that is from this administration.
Right.
That is a credibility issue now, because you cannot believe what they are saying.
Well, and it's not only the administration, it's the Federal Reserve, because let's face it, Powell, the head of the Federal Reserve, was bidding for another term. He got the other term by rewarding the administration with bad behavior. And so it's not just that you'd expect the administration to be political. That's what they do. But the Fed is not supposed to be political. The question is now whether a 0.75% increase is going to be enough to do it. They may have to go even further than that in order to convince the market that they're serious about inflation.
We'll know tomorrow on that, right?
We will.
On Wednesday.
Yes.
Thank you, David. Great
Absolutely.
to have you.
Good to see you both.
David Asman, thanks.
Yep.